Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today's topic is going to be the influence of other people on your recovery. So, we'll talk about that in a minute. Take a couple of nice breaths. It's a nice quiet afternoon. Breathe in the peace. Exhale the noise. Breathe in the nature and the outdoors. Exhale the indoor living. Get outside if you can. Very peaceful, even if you're not moving, even if you're just sitting and resting and relaxing. Watch the butterflies fly by, listen to the birds and the insects. All right. So, this topic today, the influence of other people on our recovery. And we all have to deal with other folks. And of course, a lot of what I talk about is impacting our own thoughts and feelings, emotions, and beliefs and all that kind of stuff. But there are some times when other people in our lives are less than helpful towards our recovery. Could be a spouse or partner who doesn't believe in this mind-body, TMS, perceived danger stuff. And they're constantly telling you, you should go to the doctor. You want me to call the doctor? Over and over and over again. I was in that situation for a good bit when I was stuck on the floor for 14 hours. My wife, who understood for years that I had this belief in this Dr. Sarno theory of TMS, was still the first one to say, I'm calling the ambulance. And I had to tell her not to. And every time I would be struggling and she'd make a comment like, yeah, you should really go to the doctor or do this or get that treatment. And I would refuse because I was pretty firm on the whole Sarno theory. She'd look at me like I was crazy. And that never helped. And so no judgment on her. She was just doing what she could. She wanted to help. She wasn't able to. And she just wasn't able to see what I was seeing with regard to TMS. Now, there are some people that will openly dismiss it, call you crazy. You're nuts to believe that shit. You're stupid. What are you doing this stuff for? You're not going to get better this way, and absolutely sabotage our recovery. And there are even other cases where one person may be completely on board with TMS, mind-body, perceived danger, pain, and their spouse also has a whole host of symptoms but does not believe the TMS. And in this one case, a gentleman emailed me about this, and we've been communicating a little bit. His wife does nothing but complain all day, every day, about her sensations and symptoms. And what he is finding is it's extremely, extremely difficult for him to make any forward progress with his symptoms because he's got that negative barrage of complaints and her talking about her symptoms. And what he's actually finding is her symptoms are starting to become his, right? Symptoms are contagious in a way, primarily because it's all about fear. And if all you're hearing is fearful messages, either from yourself or from somebody you're spending a lot of time with, it influences us. It influences us emotionally, psychologically. And so this gentleman was looking for some ideas, and I figured I'd talk about this. The first and foremost person whom you've got to convince about TMS or perceived danger pain is you. No doubt about it. Somebody else can't fix you if you don't believe that this is what's going on. Watching all my videos in the world isn't going to matter if you still go, yeah, but Dan, what about this? I don't know if this applies to me. So the first and foremost person you've got to convince is yourself. Make a decision. Rule out life-threatening. Rule in TMS or perceived danger pain. That's the process. Once you've got a determination that all indicators are, it's TMS, PDP, time to move forward. The next step is to teach your brain. Take the intellectual knowledge you've got about this mind-body stuff and teach your subconscious brain. We do that not only through the things we say, but the things we do and how we respond to the symptoms or the pains. So, let's get back to the original topic. How do you deal with folks around you that don't buy into any of this stuff? And their energy is affecting you? Well, it simply comes down to boundaries. And I'm not going to suggest that anybody needs to leave their spouse or their partner and break off all communications just to get better, because proof is I got better despite the fact that my marriage was falling down, despite the fact that my wife was not fully supportive of my efforts in this world. I still got better. But I think I had to negotiate and coach her to just not talk about it, to just not engage with it. If she saw me struggling, bite your tongue. If I need help, I'll ask. But I negotiated somewhat of a truce to be like, all right, I'm not going to talk about it, and you don't talk about it either, and that'll help me. And so I strongly encourage for you to do that if, in fact, you've got a person in your life, whether it be a partner, a family member, a friend, a coworker, it doesn't matter. If somebody is less than supportive, then my suggestion for you is to tell them, shh, we're not going to talk about it. We're on 2 different pages. We can agree to disagree, but it would really help me. I know you care and you're just trying to help, but it would really help me if we just didn't bring it up. Let's not discuss my health, my wellness. It doesn't help me. So that's one thing. And even if somebody is complaining about their own set of symptoms, you can still kind of call a truce and say, look, I don't want to speak about my symptoms. I would prefer if you didn't speak about yours. If you need a ride to the doctor, great. I mean, clearly the topic is going to come up. But see if you can negotiate for the benefit of both of you to really minimize the amount of discussion surrounding symptoms or pains, right? And when I say discussion, I primarily mean complaints and suffering and agony that some people are in, and they want to share that with the rest of the world. They want to make sure that everybody around them knows how bad it is. And for a person who's on board the TMS train, so to speak, and believes that the mind-body is what's causing their symptoms to occur, it's really challenging to be around somebody else who is massively creating all of this negative, fearful energy. And so what I suggested to this gentleman, I'll suggest to anybody else in a similar situation. Call a truce. Set some boundaries. Just be very clear. We are not going to talk about this. Again, if you need a ride to the doctor, great, I'll do that. Want to go out to dinner? Great, let's do that. But let's not talk about symptoms or pain and how bad it is and struggling and suffering and this is going to be the rest of my life, because none of that conversation benefits anybody, even the person in pain. It doesn't benefit us to complain about it. Remember, the reason why this is so important is because if the brain is perceiving danger, the warning signal is pain or other symptoms. So what do you think those complaints and sharing your struggles do to yourself and to the people around you? Creates more fear, more danger, more worry, more catastrophic thinking. So one thing that I guess I might suggest is, if this person in your life is complaining, counter it with the positive outlook. Hey honey, I know you're really struggling now, but it's going to get better. I know it will. And if they keep complaining, just keep on hitting them back. Counterbalance the negative with your positive. Make sure that the dominant thought that you've got is your positivity, your confidence, your clarity, your certainty that you can get better. And The nocebo is a powerful concept. The nocebo is this belief that something is bad for me. And I think with this particular gentleman, I think there is absolutely a belief, because he's messaged me a number of times about this situation, and his belief is, I'm not going to be able to get better as long as she's complaining about her situation and she's not on board with this TMS stuff. And he stated that a number of times, so his belief is strong. So as a result, the nocebo is there, that every time she starts complaining, he starts going, darn it, this is going to affect me, it's going to cause me to hurt. And what does that do? It creates more perceived danger, and it convinces his brain that, oh crap, that's what he believes, that must be true. And the brain can actually manifest it just based on the belief that something is going to be bad for you. So if that's you, and you know who I'm talking to, change your story internally that her complaints do not have to, and thereby will not affect your recovery. Clarity and certainty within us, not other people, within us is what really matters. So I really wanted to kind of approach this subject. Other people can definitely influence us and can get us stirred up and agitated. But the clarity and certainty that you can combat that with and counter that with, to say, look, yeah, my spouse doesn't get it, and they may be expecting me, to do more and more because I'm not complaining about it so much. Just be very certain within yourself that their behaviors, their conversation, their statements do not have to, and thereby will not, create more symptoms for me and delay my recovery. Make that your dominant thought, as opposed to, oh no, I wish my spouse would shut up, so they're going to affect me and I'm going to get sicker and sicker if I have to be around them. That's called a nocebo. It's not factual, it's an opinion. But if you believe that and you state it over and over and over again, your brain may actually start to act as if that's true. So counter that with accurate information, which is their words, their beliefs do not have to, and therefore will not affect me and my recovery. So that's what I got for you, folks. I'm off to visit Mom. Everything's good. Just doing a weekend visit. Shooting this on a Friday afternoon. So that's pretty much what I got for you. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody enjoys your weekend. Happy Saturday if you're watching this the day it posts. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Love you.